Listen, Judd, can you say a few things about New Amsterdam Records, what this is, and how this started? That would be really interesting to me. And yes, we'll get out of the way.
Yeah, well, I wish I had Sarah Kirkland-Snyder up here to talk about this with me. But we started New Amsterdam with a third composer named Bill Pertel back in 2007. It was really a response to the lack of available options for young composers like ourselves and the ensembles that were part of our musical community, such as Now Ensemble, who you'll hear in a few moments, to release records, to make music available for not just a sort of insular classical demographic, people who are only looking at the classical charts and the classical music and the new music releases, but we're interested in a much wider variety of musical offerings. I feel
We're out of the way of...
it's like a Phil Donahue moment here. Anyway, so in 2007, we started New Amsterdam Records, and since then we've released over 50 recordings of music from an incredibly wide variety of, I don't even want to say genres, but sounds, because really what we're trying to do is establish a world of music that's beyond genre, where composers can write what they want for the ensembles that they want, where ensembles can ask the people who they want to write for them. And so often you'll see Now Ensemble, for example, has worked with the electronic musician Dan Deacon on a number of pieces, and we hope to work on a record project with him sometime in the next couple of years. And it gives Dan, who normally writes for his own kind of strange crew of percussionists and assorted electronic musicians, you know, loads everything in a van and drives around the country, United States. You know, normally that's his musical world, but here we're actually giving him an opportunity to write for a chamber group that's going to approach his music in a different way. And for us, it gives us an opportunity to work with a musician whose work is very sophisticated, but who offers a different sensibility than, you know, other composers who might be coming from a different perspective, who might be trained in a conservatory or come from a classical tradition. So that's a synopsis of what we're trying to do in general with New Amsterdam Records. And now with New Amsterdam Presents, we're able to participate in festivals like this as a full-fledged presenting organization.
One thing that's striking about New Am, which, you know, it's really such an influential label, and all the things that you produce. You know, we're in an age where we can immediately hear everything on Bandcamp, and it influences many of us tremendously. One thing that's striking is that there are people like Shara Worden of My Brightest Diamond, Bryce Dessner of the National, really, you know, big people in a rock pop world with big bands, very famous bands, who write string quartets. What's up with that?
Well, you know, it's no stranger for Bryce, who I met actually when he was coming out of his classical guitar education. I guess maybe I shouldn't be telling you all this, but he was a classical guitarist, and that's where I met him. Shara has opera training in her background, so it's no stranger for me to come up and write for rock instruments than it is for them to write for classical instruments. Everything goes both ways. You know, we had a panel discussion earlier, and one of the things that I wanted to mention there, and I feel it's important to say now, is it's not just about bringing classical music into clubs, it's about embracing the classical concert hall, which has its own virtues, its own beauty, and it's embracing all the things that are available to us. There's great things to be found in all traditions, and the string quartet is one of them, and so is the rock band.
Fantastic. Now, I think we're pretty much ready. Do you want to say a few things about the pieces that we're going to hear right now?
I'll come up a little later maybe to talk about my own music, but for now, we'll let Now Ensemble speak for themselves. Thank you. Now Ensemble.